So, as most of you might know, when you're coming, there's all kinds of things that go into making a movie. Hundreds of people work on it, sometimes thousands of people work on it. And it all has to come together, it all has to sync, they have to have one vision. And sometimes the studios have completely different visions and they end up ruining what could have been a great movie. So there are some prime examples. We just saw Men in Black International and the stories that have come out of that from production. Now that the movie is flopped, it came out at less than half of what the other movies came out on opening weekend. It had a huge drop in the second weekend. So it's struggling to try and make its money back at all. And it's, you know, there's stories about a producer getting involved who was assigned at the last minute, who ended up changing the whole script, rewrites, reshoots. The two actors, Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth, actually went out and hired their own writers because they hated the dialogue that this guy was coming up with and giving them.
And the unfortunate thing was that the studio and the writers and the previous director all loved the version of the script that they had at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then when the new guy came in and said, no, it's going to be like this.
Yeah. The actors, I feel sorry for the actors because they thought maybe they're going to launch a new, the new version of the franchise. They're at the peak of their popularity because of Marvel and Endgame and Thor Ragnarok, and here they go, they sign on, they see the script, they sign on for the script, and some guy comes in and goes, you're gonna do it the way I think it should be done.
So how did the studio interfere and ruin things? Well, they interfered and ruined things by not interfering. There was nobody,
in that case, yeah.
There was nobody at the studio overseeing the entire production of Men in Black International. It was just left to the producer and the director.
Yeah, and who was thrown in at the last minute.
Yeah.
Because the original producer was leaving just as the filming got ready to start. So there's a case of a studio not doing anything and ruining a movie by not overseeing
when they clearly should have done something.
Yeah. There's plenty of other cases out there of studios, though, that got involved and made changes. We can think of just Star Wars. Let's go with Star Wars right off the bat. How about Solo?
Okay.
Lord and Miller hired top, very popular, very up-and-comers at the time. And, you know what? Kathleen Kennedy didn't like what she was seeing. She didn't get along with them. They said, you know what, you're going to make a funny movie? Or
yeah, I heard it was along the lines of, Ace Ventura? Or, like a very, very weird comedy movie?
They were trying something unique with it. And you know what, if you're talking Han Solo spin-off movie, you need something if you don't have the real Han Solo, Harrison Ford, in there. Mm-hmm. And they didn't. But the funny part is, so she gets rid of them, she brings in Ron Howard. Now this is an action heist Star Wars movie. I love Ron Howard. I think I've watched him since Happy Days. I love him. The Andy Griffin Show. I've watched him all my life. But here's a quick list of some of the action movies that he's done since 1996. He's done Ransom, Ed TV, A Beautiful Mind, Cinderella Man, Frost Nixon, Angels and Demons, In the Heart of the Sea, and Inferno. Yeah. Not exactly high action movies. And you know what? He's known for that long, slow pacing in a movie.
Yeah, so when the studio says, oh, well, we got to do something, who should we get? They went for the most available big name? Is that what they did?
That's exactly, and the safe name. They knew Ron Howard was going to make a safe film, and he did. The movie was not horrible. The movie was not bad, but it really was. You could took Han Solo out of the movie and called it Joe Blow, and it would have been the exact same movie. It didn't need to be a Han Solo movie. It should have been just in the Star Wars universe, a space heist, new characters. It probably would have took off a lot better.
Okay, so they changed the director midway through the movie, and everything sucked. What's next?
Well, it sucked so much that it cost $250 million to make, mostly because of all the reshoots they had to do when they brought in new directors, and the movie lost about $150 million at the box office. So that's not good. How about, there's a great example, Fantastic Four. You actually liked the Fantastic
I didn't
more than I did.
I didn't like it, but I didn't think it deserved all the guff that it got.
I thought it was a big pile of done crap, and most people out there thought the exact same thing. They hired a director. He was a hot property at the time. He had one movie, but it was a good movie. Okay. So Frank has his vision. He has this thing he wants to do, and the studio came in and said, that's not what we think. We think this isn't comic booky enough. It's not, formulaic enough. That ending, whatever he was planning on doing, he went and changed. They said no, and they bring in somebody else. They made him change everything. They rewrote the ending. They refilmed the ending. And if you have seen Fantastic Four, you know the ending is really, really boring and dumb. It is so cliche. Lights in the sky, and hey, we're going to fight him. And somehow, in one scene in that movie, he's walking through and he's mind killing everybody. Yet when he fights the Fantastic Four, it's a fist fight. I guess they had to do something with the Thing, because the Thing can only punch, right? It's clobbering time. So they argued right at the beginning. Frank wanted Miles Teller, and the studio didn't want to hire Miles Teller as Reed. But he fought, and then the studio said, okay, we'll give you Teller, but, we want Kate Mara. She's going to be our Sue Storm. And apparently he didn't want her at all. And then, so now you have a main actor that only the director wanted, nobody else wanted. Then you have a female main actress that the director doesn't want on set. And of course, rumors come out that he treated her very poorly. He was trying to cut her lines in the movie. And if you take a look at the movie, she's kind of like the side character compared to everybody else. She's the only one that didn't go on the mission. They bring some kid from high school and went on a mission with him, but the main scientific astronaut, the daughter of the professor, doesn't go on there. Okay. You can kind of see...
So you contend that studio interference in movies is a bad thing.
You hire a producer and a director. You go over what the story plot is and what they have in mind. Once you agree to that, let them do their thing.
Okay, well then this is what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to say a movie and how the studio interfered, and you tell me if it was a good call or not.
Okay. We're playing a new game.
Fight Club. You saw Fight Club?
I saw Fight Club.
Okay, well the studio pushed to have Brad Pitt in the movie.
Okay.
They also changed a very brutal action scene where a guy was wailing on somebody's face, but instead of looking at that, you looked more at the narrator's face and his reaction to what was going on, and it heightened the emotional appeal of the scene. Would you say those are good changes? Those were studio recommended changes.
See, I'm okay with recommending, Brad Pitt. You can add whoever you want, but the script was there. They just said, you know what, that might be a little too violent, one scene, and we changed it.
But would Fight Club be Fight Club without Brad Pitt?
Well, you can say that about any movie. Would Thor Ragnarok be Thor Ragnarok without Chris Evans? Would Iron Man be that?
Okay,
maybe. But go ahead. Next.
So let's say Tremors.
Okay.
Do you remember the star of Tremors?
Mm-hmm.
The star of Tremors.
Bacon?
Kevin Bacon. Okay, but the studio fought the casting department to get Michael Gross in that movie. Michael Gross was the dad on Family Ties. And the casting department said, what? But the studio pushed for it, and he was amazing in the role. So was that bad interference?
But that's not interfering with the script. That's just acting. Look at all the actors that have been, I turned down this role and it turned out to be like Tom Cruise's big break. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of examples of that out there. Give me an example.
Something for the script.
Of a studio that changed like a whole ending of a movie and went in a different direction.
Ending of a movie.
There you go.
How about The Wizard of Oz? The studio was
We're
worried.
really going back there now.
The studio was worried that people wouldn't think of Wizard of Oz as a realistic location, so they said, how about you make Dorothy wake up from a dream? What's Wizard of Oz without Dorothy waking up from the dream and saying, oh, you were there and you were there? It changes the entire movie. Was that a good studio interference?
It worked.
It worked. It should never work again. No other movie should do this, but it worked for Wizard of Oz.
But we don't know if it would have worked the other way or not, neither.
But that is the classic fingerprint of Wizard of Oz.
Okay, but to do that little change that they did, they didn't have to fire the director, bring in a new director, reshoot for 4 months, change the script. No, studios nowadays
they're minor changes.
I have no problem with studios coming in and saying, you know what, we have a problem with this because of this. But look at Star Wars was 85% done in production, into editing. Kathleen came in and said, oh, by the way, you guys are fired and Ron Howard's going to take over from now on. And they had to start all over again.
How about a studio interfering once the movie's already done?
Such as?
The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Okay.
They had to change a scene in the DVD release where he tells the kid to call 1-800-SPANK-ME because it was an actual sex line that a kid called.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Good studio interference.
But again, that's a minor thing.
But it was after everything was done.
Okay, but it didn't affect the movie.
Well, it would have affected the movie once outrage culture caught on. And
but I mean, I'm saying it would. Call 1-800-SPANK-ME, call 1-800-DON'T-CALL-ME.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
The studio said, how about Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't the narrator all the way through the movie? How about you make it that other character, Mako?
Okay.
Good call?
Well, yeah, because no one understands what Arnold's saying.
Exactly. The whole movie would have been unintelligible. The studio did that.
Okay. But once again, it's not changing. They did that before filming.
I actually don't know when they did.
Yeah, so...
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people!
The things you're talking about are suggestions and, hey, we watched your vision of the movie. Great movie. Good job. How about you just change this one thing? That's completely different than going in and saying, okay, start again.
Okay, well, maybe I have another one here. Maybe.
I don't think he does.
Okay, Dodgeball.
Okay, Dodgeball.
The original take was that the slimy villain, Ben Stiller, his team wins the tournament at the end.
Okay.
The studio says, hello, this is... The title of the movie is Dodgeball, a true underdog story. And you're going to have the underdogs lose at the end.
Okay.
The studio came in and fixed it.
Okay. Did it change the script? Like, did it major rewrites, major reshoots?
Well,
probably not.
A completely different ending.
But it didn't change. I'm talking about taking finished products, pretty much finished products, crumpling them up, and starting again.
Okay, Monty Python, Life of Brian.
You are a sad, strange little man.
I'm going to have to edit a lot of this out.
Monty Python, Life of Brian.
Okay.
EMI Studio, halfway through the movie said, we're getting uncomfortable with this script, and so they canceled production. The movie was dead. And it was only able to survive because George Harrison said, I want to see what the movie is, so he started his own production company and finished the movie.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Okay. So
So George Harrison movie studio interfered and gave us a classic Monty Python movie.
All he did was pick up a script that another studio stopped.
Okay, well, it's still studio interference. He interfered in the cancellation of the movie.
The studio interfered and canceled the movie. Had George Harrison not stepped in, we would never have seen Life of Brian.
Right, so his studio
So bad
interfered.
move by the studio.
EMI studio,
It didn't change
bad
the
move.
script. It didn't have...
They allowed them to finish the script.
They sold it to him.
He came in and his studio came in, bought the rights and completed the movie.
Right.
That is interference.
The original studio sold it to him. They didn't interfere. They said, oh, you want to take over? Here you go. We don't want to do this movie anymore.
But without George Harrison's studio coming in...
It just wouldn't have got made.
Exactly. But he interfered in the cancellation of a project.
No, he took
and
over
saved
a
it.
project.
Well, you're just using different words.
How is that interference? The project was not going to happen.
Yes.
So he didn't interfere. He didn't say, hey, I'm going to make you guys do this movie. He bought the movie from them that they didn't want to do.
Yes, he stepped in. So instead of a movie studio stepping in to do something bad, this studio stepped in to do something good.
So you're at a job. You get fired from your job. Somebody says, you know what, Paul? I need somebody to do some work. I'll hire you. No, you're interfering with my non-working job. It doesn't make sense what you're saying.
You could cut that out. That's stupid.
It doesn't make sense what you're saying.
Okay, last one.
I have so many things to put up for his talking.
No. Last one. Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, okay? Peter Jackson goes to Miramax and he says, I want to make a 2-movie series of Lord of the Rings. Miramax says, we want 1 movie. Peter Jackson goes to New Line and says, I want to make a 2-movie series. And they say, we think it should be 3 movies. Without that studio saying, hey, change your idea.
It's not interference.
They said, change your 2-movie idea to 3 movies.
And he said, oh, I can make more money that way. Good idea.
They made it better.
They didn't interfere. They didn't stop production of a movie, throw a script away, hire new directors.
Wait a second. How do you know they didn't throw a 2-movie script away? How do you know Peter Jackson didn't have to say, well, I got to change my 2-movie idea?
But you don't know that they didn't.
I assume.
If I wanted a joke, I'd follow you into the John and watch you take a leak.
You assume wrong. Oh my God.
It's okay.
Put it this way. Studios once you hire, you can throw suggestions in. You can say, you know what, that scene is way too violent, it's not going to get by the censors, and we need to have this certain rating. Can you please change this? We would like you to change this. But if you come in when a movie's 85% done, change the directors, change the producers, change the script, change the ending, reshoot everything, and then your movie fails, it's not the directors, it's not the actors, it's the studio's fault. Period.
He said period, I guess it's over.
It's over. Can you believe the arguments he had? I'm going to have fun editing this.